Hello guys, this is Paula. I hope you're all doing well today. I, have trouble with sleeping, so I brainstorm while I'm sleeping. And I have a lot of old, used envelopes and some that are new that I've gotten in the mail or whatever. I hoard them. What can I say? So I thought I need to do something with those. And so I was laying there thinking, what could I do? And let me move these envelopes and I'll show you what I ended up with. Now it's not decorated because we're going to make one ourselves, but let's close it down. So everything on here is an envelope. One is a greeting envelope and the rest are, just envelopes. Okay, now this is an envelope Folio. So it's very flat. So it's not like if you made something out of a cardstock, which I like that. Now you can get different size of these big envelopes. And this is what they look like. They're this size. They're actually 6 inches wide and 9.5 tall. Okay, so that's the size for that envelope. And the others that I'm going to use are just standard number 10 envelopes. Okay, and then I'm trying to remember where I laid my, I know where it's at. I have my, I have a tea stained envelope in here, and I forgot to get it out. This is my hoarding bag. One of them. It's one of my hoarding bags. Okay, so these tea stained look pretty rough, but we're going to cover it anyway. Look at that. That's some old tea stain. I don't really do it like that anymore because it's not my favorite. I think it's over the top grunge, but to each their own. So the first thing we're going to do is, of course, know that this is going to be the inside of a folio. And I'm going to put this side that has the open window in. Now, we will glue this shut. Let me look at mine as I go along, see how I did everything. Yeah, I didn't leave any of the sides or anything open on the envelope. So, the first thing we need to do is glue this shut. And I'm just going to use some fabric tack. Let's see. I want to fix that right there. That's kind of sticking out too. Now, that can be drying while we're working on another one. Okay, so now you have this closed envelope, and you're going to use the back side. Okay, that's the first thing. Second thing is we're going to take our, you really want these flaps to be the same on the back if you can, because it will just look better when it's all said and done. The two big ones, the number 10s that go, these right here, you want them to be the same because, see, they end up with a big pocket inside here. And because we don't glue the opening down on this one. So, yeah. So let's do those. So we're just going to open them up. You can use new or used. I'm going to leave the window. Of course, we have to leave the window. Will come out on the outside. Now, I don't cut these at all because I feel like, it'll look better if we have a perfect measurement. Now, you're going to want to just put this as center as you can on this big envelope. You can't have one that's longer than your big envelope for this to work. So I'm going to put, you really want to snug these up whenever you do them too. I'm going to put this glue on the flap of the envelope, and this is going to glue onto this envelope. Now you want to snug these together. Let me get down here as best you can. Now, I'm going to look over here, make sure I don't have leakage, and I don't. But I also want to make sure this doesn't stick out like this. See how it's sticking out? You want to snug it up in there as best you can. And it's not as easy as it sounds. But you got to do it while it's wet. I had to go back and tear mine out and redo them. So, yeah, you don't want to do that. That's why mine looks so rough. Okay, make sure there's no glue, you know, what I always say. Okay, now, these are really good because they have a decorative inside. So that's great. Look at that. That's going to go well. Now, over here, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to turn it out. And we're going to put glue here. And we're going to want to line it up with that envelope on that side. We want them to be identical on both sides, or as close as possible. Just depends on how you like things done. Okay, now I'm going to line it up just like I did the other one. And you're going to have a little bit on each side. I'm eyeballing it, but that's what I did to that side, so I think that's all right. All right, so, boy, I got that one snug as a bug. Well, maybe not. That's what I get for saying that. Okay. So if you get it in here, and you know you can get it in on the crease line, you will have them nice and straight. I'm going to flip it over. Yeah. Okay, this is going to be the outside of our folio. So here is how it looks so far. These will end up flipped, but that's okay because we're not going to leave it like that. And we're going to cover up this window as well. Okay, or you don't have to. It's up to you. Now, moving along, let me get a drink. My mouth is dry this morning. Moving along, we're going to take another envelope. And they need to be the same size. They don't have to be the same brand. And we're going to, this is where some cutting comes in. We're going to take this envelope and we're going to cut it to this size right here. Okay, now, I'm thinking as I go along here. We're going to be putting this flap under just like we did, except we're going to glue down this portion under here because we don't want it to open up. So let's cut it first and then we can glue it. Okay, so the size we need, and I'm going to do it where I can cut it off and use this. Don't throw away any of your scraps till you're done. I'm going to use this end after I cut it off as some kind of pocket. Maybe. It might not fit what I'm doing. You never know how these are going to work until you sit down to do one, because they're all different, you know. I'm going to get a pencil and I'm going to mark right here so I get the correct width. And then bring this up. Great. It had to move. Okay. All right. Right here. Now I'm going to bring my cutter over. Okay, so we want to cut on those lines. If I can see the line. I thought I did it on this side, but maybe it was the other side. Yeah. We're going to be cutting through this plastic window, but that will be fine, because we'll be covering it and securing it with a heavier paper at some point. Where did my line go? Oh, there it is up there. I was looking at the wrong side. Now this should, keep your scraps, this should be the right length to put up here. Now I'm trying to remember, which end. No, I end up putting a opening up here and down here. Now you have to, obviously, I don't know how I did it on that side too. Oh, you know, you learn something new every day. Okay, so I'm thinking, what's the best? I think I'm just going to do an opening on the top. So we're going to trim this as close as we can to the edge of the envelope. And then we'll take our hole punch so that we know this is a pocket. When you make something like this, people won't know where all the pockets are if you don't give them a clue. So I'm going to glue the inside of this pocket here. I'm looking to see how the next one fits into the, oh, okay. So we're going to do it, we're going to glue this inside, but not this side or this side. And it'll make sense after I'm done here. This is just to make a bottom for the pocket that's going to be above the bottom of the pocket. And if we don't do it as we're going, there's no way to do it. So we're closing the entrance to the envelopes inside. Now that is all ready to go. We're going to save this right now. We may go back and do it as well, but it just depends on what we end up with. So now you want to add your glue to this. I think I'm going to make that a little neater by going like that. It's really not going to be seen. It's just me. Because I want to have my template perfect. So I've got it over there. That's going to be my template for when I do it again someday. Because it's really fast. Look how fast we've come along so far. Once you've made it, it's just a cool thing to make. And you can slide these into journals in between signatures. You don't have to attach them to anything in your journal, should you want to. Now this one was flush right away. So now we're going to do the same thing down here, but I want it to be bigger. So this envelope is longer than what I used before, so you can see that when this folds up, let me show you. Yeah, and it's too wide also, so I'm going to have to get a smaller one, or I'm going to have to use another number 10. You just don't have any way of knowing until you start making them. Let me see if I have a smaller one that's the right size, I guess I should say. Sorry that I'm rattling this noisy thing. So I guess I don't have any out here that are handy. So we'll just use another number 10 envelope. Either one will work. Wait a minute. There's one, a small one, and it's working perfect. So this is an A2 envelope, which measures, everybody probably knows, 5 3/4 by 4.5. Okay, so on this one, we're going to trim away. I've got my example all covered up over here. We're going to trim away. We're going to keep the top closed, and we're going to trim away one side. So we got to decide which side we want that to be. I think on the right side. Let's try it on the right side. Let me get my, running out of space here. Okay, so you're going to line this up like we've done everything, and center it if it has a little left over. This one does. Again, this is not going to be perfect, but you can get pretty close. Now, see, if this envelope was longer, it'd be even better, because, you know, then you have a good place there. So I'm going to, I'm not going to put the hole in this one yet till I glue it, because I want to see exactly what I'm going to end up with. It looks like I cut down one of the sides. Let's go ahead and do that. This as close as you possibly can, but still be able to open the envelope. Let's see if we did it. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to glue this flap down the same way we've been gluing all the others. Okay. All right. Scoot that under as close as you can get to that fold line on the flap. Pull it in and push it in so you know it's going to be shoved up against the large envelope in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to put this is the side we cut, so I'm going to put a pocket slot right here in the middle. I think I did this one backwards to how I did my other one, but you know, I think either side will work one way or another. Now, will it be perfect? Like this is shorter. I could add some paper onto this to make it, you know, taller. But I could have also glued down the middle, made this a pocket, made this a pocket here. You just have to use your imagination, and it will get you through. You know, you just have to piddle with it the first time and see what you like. But fortunately, inside we have a pocket here, which I didn't have on my demo. My demo one. Okay. And you have to cut the circles out, or half circles out as you're doing this, because if you don't, you'll not really notice what all your punches are. So I'm going to do it right here in the center too. And I'll do it right over here in the center. Because the more involved it gets, the easier it is to not realize what's a pocket and not a pocket. Okay. Now you could keep adding to this thing. It could be as big as this table, but we couldn't really use it or function, you know, couldn't make it function as well as something smaller. Okay. Now, I'm thinking, okay, so this is the top. Now, these can go under, left in, then right over. And you can see right here that I'm off a little bit. See that? That means I'm off. So, I could have done better on that. And then this goes up. And this goes down. Now, on mine, I'm going to show you, when I did this, I did it with a wider envelope. So you just have to kind of, you can even lay them out before you do it. So I did it with a wider envelope, so you see they meet or they cover just slightly. This one's not perfect, but it was fun. Okay, so this is just my second one I've made. So let us go along here and see what comes out of it. Okay, so now I want us to do some flip outs. I've got a flip out that flips to the right and one that flips to the left. Now, again, it doesn't matter which side. So I'm going to start with the top, and I'm going to move these out of my way while I do that. So we've got this top portion that has a cut on this right side and a cut across the top. No pocket underneath. And so we obviously are going to have to put it on this side. And I'm trying to find my, I had a bigger one. I think I cut another envelope in half is what I did. So we'll just do that. We got plenty. But we're not going to have to, glue, we're not going to have any openings except on the top. So the first thing we can do is trim the top. I think I did them both the same. I'm looking here to make sure. Yeah, I did. So we're going to trim along the bottom to open that up. I'm trying to think here where I'm going to put it. Yeah, just like I said, we're going to trim along the bottom and make an opening. I hope this isn't too involved that it makes it boring, but I just thought it would be fun. So we're going to cut this one down the middle. I just kind of am going to see where the middle will be. Okay. So trying to center it up here. We've got 9 inches is the length. Or right at 9 inches. So I'm thinking we'll cut at 4.5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here is the half. So I'm just going to put a little bitty line on it, and then I'll hold it up and cut it. Keep your fingers crossed I do it straight. No, I didn't. So I'm going to clean it up with my, I hate bringing my trimmer out when I'm doing videos because it messes up my table. It's a pain. So we're not going to get 4.5, but we'll get just barely over 4. Because I cut it crooked. If I just listened to myself and do it right, it wouldn't be a problem, right? Okay, so yeah. Alrighty, now we're going to put this over here. I just hit the camera with my trimmer. I'm very sorry. You're still alive and recording. Oh my goodness. All right, so we've got that part done. Now, I'm looking to see, I think we're going to have to cut them shorter. Because I will put this under the flap right here. And the flap will need to be glued on just like all the others have, and we'll fold it in. And I think, I'm trying to remember, I think I'm going to do the bottom first. Let's do the bottom first because it's already makes more sense. It's taller, so we don't have to cut anything. It looks like it's a perfect, so very close to being a perfect fit. Now, we are going to have to glue this portion right here together. And as you go along, this will make so much sense to you. Just watch the video as you're making one. Just make yourself a demo and or prototype, or whatever you want to call it. Now, we are not going to glue the flap, but we're going to glue the one side down. And this is just a way to get, a great way to get rid of some of your junk, you know. And some of your scraps and all that stuff. Okay, so I got to give that a second to dry. And in the meantime, while that's drying, we're going to go back up here. Sorry, I'm not carrying on a conversation. I'm trying to, I think we're going to have to glue that side. I'm thinking here. They're going to both end up on the same side because I had punched a hole here for a pocket, and I really should have done it over here to have them on two different sides. But I think that'd be okay. Either that, I can just open this side. I think that's what I'll do. I'm going to open up the other side. No, wait a minute. Oh, this side is opened up. I just need to glue it. I don't have to open it up. I'm not trying to confuse you. I'm already confused. I've confused myself. You just have to play with it to see how many pockets you can come up with. That's what my goal has been, is to come up with as many pockets in hidden spaces. And you can add pockets in here, like I'm going to add a pocket right here after we've decorated this portion. Okay, so I think this is dry now. Once I get this one on it, it will make more sense. Okay, now because this lower portion has a pocket over here, this side is solid. That's the side we need to glue to. Now, I did not glue the envelope closed, so I don't know. I wanted to see how it would look first before I did that. Okay. This is how I did it when I made the first one. I just kind of, I went in here as far as I can to get as close as I can. But still allow it to, you know, you want to kind of try to line up sections that need to be lined up, like along this edge right here. You know, if you do, you'll have a straighter folio. And then you push down your ink. Now, this side is glued shut. This one is, and this one. This is the opening here. Now, it is kind of weak because it has this window, but we will strengthen it when we start adding. Or we can use this as a pocket on the... No, I glued that shut. Okay, so we've got our opening here. So I'm going to go ahead and put our whole... our half moon thing. Oh, and I made it way too big. It's because I didn't flip it over, but that's okay. All right. Now we're going to flip this around, and we're going to try to do the same thing on this one. But because that one's on the right, and I want to do this one on... This one on the bottom is on the right, so we want to do the one here on the left. The opposite side. So just take your scissors. I know that we should have done this prior, but it'll be okay. Take your scissors and just trim that little edge off. And I would have centered this better had I trimmed it off first. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I got a little gap right there. But this little envelope we're about to put on here will make up for that. There's always, this is the thing with paper, making paper things. There's almost always a way to correct the things you do. So I want the pocket to be on the side Let me make sure this, I might have to trim this one some more. Yeah. Yes, I do. I'm going to trim it real fast on my trimmer. And then we'll glue that portion together. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to run some glue through here, and I'm just going to put it on the small side. That way it glues easier. I know it's going in the right spot. So we're gluing that down. And we're going to trim, oh, we've already trimmed the outside there. So I can't believe I made the other one gigantic. Might as well make the rest of them kind of like that too. Okay, now this portion here has to be glued down. The inside of the envelope needs to be glued. So I'm going to do that first. And you want to do this just under, and I totally missed the area I wanted to glue. That's crazy. Crazy me. I know I had a wipey out here somewhere. Oh my goodness. Nothing exciting has happened in my life. We've not gone anywhere or done anything other than my friend being in the hospital. We've pretty much stayed close to home this week. But Charlie's coming Friday night. No, I'm sorry, Sunday night to spend the night with Grammy and Papa. And he's excited. Grammy and Papa are too. They used to live just up the street from us, and my daughter and her husband. And we would see them every day, you know. And then they moved clear across town. And it's not just a jump in the car kind of thing to do. And so we don't see them as often. So when we do see them, we're excited. I wish I got to see my son's kids more often. But they live a busy life. When you have your own business, it's usually like that, you know. Okay, well, I got enough on there that it glued the the inside together. I just got too much out here, too. Okay, so now we're going to flip this over. And we're going to do the same thing we did on the left side over here on the right side. So you put the glue on your flap. And then we're going to slide it under here. And see, this is open, but we don't have to do anything with it. Well, wait a minute. We do. I'm going to go ahead and glue this on first, though. You want everything closed except what you're wanting to be pockets. So if it's not going to be a pocket, you need to glue it down. See, because this will just be a problem if we don't. I've got to glue it down on both sides. Obviously, I didn't do that. Let me make sure I'm really even here. Yeah. And now we'll glue down this area here. There we go. I hope you guys can see. Yeah, good. And I'm just rolling the glue off because we are going to be adding paper to this. I thought we would do just a springtime paper. And to cover it. Okay, so that is down. Now we got to glue this other side down here. Just on the one side. Come on, fingers. There we go. don't see any coming out. There we go. Okay. So now we should have everything glued down that needs to be glued down. And we will have our folio. Now I'm thinking, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I really want the bottom piece that folds up to match the top, and I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay, here we have our folio. It's all laid out like this. Can you see all that? Let me make sure. I don't want you to go along and not be able to see. Okay, so here's the top portion. This folds in. When it's not in use, then you fold the right one, then the left one, and then on the bottom, you fold this right one in, and it folds up, and it's really supposed to meet the top one. So we're lacking this little bit, so I think I'm going to add something there to make up the difference, because we're going to cover it, and it's, you know, you got to work with what you got as far as envelope sizes and so forth. So let me grab a piece or another envelope. We'll just grab another envelope and I'll hook it on there. Who knows, we may come up with another pocket doing that. I think I'm going to do one of these that don't have a flap. See if I can make that work, because I got more of those. That is, if I can find them. There they are in the back of the book. Okay. Let's see if that... Nope, that's bigger. That's crazy. I had no idea it was that big. Okay. I'm looking. Those are the new ones. The old ones are back here. Okay. That's not an old one. Okay, I think I found one now. I'm going to use it either way. Oh, crud, that's huge. I don't know what you call the step up from a 10, number 10 envelope, but it's funny how they vary just a little bit. Now, if I can't find one, we'll just use a new one. And I'm not having luck, so we'll just use another new one. This one has, that's too big too. Maybe we're working with a small one and don't even know it. I think this is the right size now. Yeah. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to not be prepared for that, but you really don't, you know, I didn't pre-measure everything because you just don't know. Okay, so what I'm going to do, or attempt to do, is to make the bottom flap come up. And because we have all this that doesn't have any openings, we can make this work. We'll just put the flap down, or maybe I'm trying to think what the best way to do it would be. We got to definitely cut the envelope to size, as long as the width goes. And right there. Let me cut this real fast. Then we'll decide how we want to do it, and hope that cutting it this way helped. I did both those pencil marks and they were both off. So we'll see if this works. Okay. Now I know we're not making it as a pocket. I just want to make sure it fits on here. It appears to. So we want to bring this out. So I'm thinking we can just do it like this. And that way it goes out to where it needs to be. Now we will be covering this here, this opening, but we'll repunch it. Because you can't add the punch, you can't add the flap under here because all you're going to get is another flip out. I just want the paper longer. Let me see how long I want it. Okay. It needs to be about like that to fit. So I'm just going to start adding some glue underneath. I might have to go back under there because I don't want to move. I'm trying not to move this one, so I know that it will be enough, you know. Okay, so let's see. Looks like this side needs to come this direction a little bit. Now, I didn't have to do this, but remember, while doing this, you can piece things to work like you need them to work. And that's the fun part of it. So they're close enough, because we don't expect perfection out of this. It's a bunch of envelopes, you know. So I'm just going to add some glue here to get this side glued down. All right, now this will fold out and it's longer. We're not going to put a pocket here or anything like that. We're going to cover it. But we do need to punch this out again. And I am going to punch it a little bit bigger so that they don't look like they're all different. I normally don't like to punch big. I like it to be just a little bit of a punch. But sometimes you make mistakes. Okay, so that part is all done correctly. I don't know how I got glue right there. Must have came off that bottom flap just now. We know that's all correct. This is the top. Now, let's go back to the bottom. And we've got a pocket here. What I'll end up doing once we put the paper on here, I'll end up inking under each of those spots. So I don't like this big moon. So I'm going to trim it down a little bit, because it can be whatever size we want it to be. And it's not much better, but it's better than it was. Okay, now this is going to be the open side, obviously. And we've added, I need a little glue right there. It won't stay down. So we've got this pocket inside and on the side. Now on this that we just added on, we're not going to put a pocket or anything. I mean, you know, it's just, it won't work because it's the lower portion. So there we go. Now it looks like there's a few little things hanging over here and there, so I'm just going to trim them. It's this flap. Oh, okay. So it's this flap that is not wanting to match. See, it's hanging out right there. So I'm going to trim it just a little tiny bit. And I will probably have to glue it again. Okay, let's see how that looks first. Oh, that's much better. Okay, so I cut this top a little bit, so let's see if it opened again. No, it's fine. And there you have your folio. And I just love this little thing, you know. So I thought, let me see how many minutes we are. We're going to cut this video short. And, well, you know what? Let's go ahead and take advantage of 15 minutes we have left. And then we will stop, you know, at some point, and then we'll pick up in video 2. I've got this new paper, and I probably won't use the little ones, but it made me feel so happy at Hobby Lobby when I was buying it. Have you ever had paper that just made you happy? I think it's because we're paper people. That's all I can figure. Well, there was 2 different paper pads. And the funny thing is, there was this paper pad, which is just spring, and I just loved it. It just made me think of spring, and it is double-sided. I don't know if I want to use this or not if it's double-sided. And then they also had this one. I just bought the 2 small ones they had left because I just love this one too. But there's things about this one that wouldn't be good on a journal, but would be nice on a card. And I am going to do a card with you guys at some point. I had a couple people request that, and I am going to do that. I have made cards for years, but I'm not going to do anything over the top that would, you know, be difficult for you. Okay, so do we want to do this really? I don't think I want to use this double-sided paper, so I'm going to grab another book. Hold on. It's right behind me. I bought a couple, and I'll do this one. No, it's double-sided too. What's up with that? Hobby Lobby never has double-sided. Oh, here's a really neat one that I bought. I bought 3 the other day because they were 50% off. I try to stock up then. And so this is not, it's the Be Happy that, and I got it at, I got this at Tuesday morning, and I got it for $4.99. Look at that. It's made by Paper House. So yeah, it's got a little bit of gold in there. Oh, this is cute. Look at this, guys. Isn't that cute? I think it's adorable. I love it's blush and black. So we need to find our base. You know, the one we want to put right down in the middle. That is cute. Now I know why I bought this. Okay. Now this could be down in the base right here. Let's use that one for that. And we're going to put a piece on at a time, and then we'll come back and pick out the next one. I think that's easier than trying to sit here and go through a bunch of papers. I should do that off camera, right? Okay, now we will have to do a lot of cutting and measuring. I hope this is not boring. I will try to have, on the next video, I'll try to have the paper cut so that it doesn't bore you to death. Now, I believe this middle portion here, I think I told you guys it was 6 by 9.5, but I should measure everything again because it will screw it up. It will have a piece of paper that's wasted. Okay, so this is exactly 9.5 tall. And this is just slightly, like barely under 6. So here we go. We're going to get the trimmer out. We're going to get busy. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I wouldn't want you guys to be bored by no means. So I just came up with it in my head. I had seen something that Rachel at Rocky Creations had done that was with envelopes. piecing, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. And I'm going to do hers too at some point for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to have these flowers be down in the corner. I think those would be pretty. Or do we want them up in the corner? I think up in the corner. That way when you flip it down, that's the first thing you'll see. Let me see. I'm laying it down like this because I really want it to be as close to perfect as possible. And I know all of these aren't going to end up being square and all that, but you know, at least we can try to get it as close as possible. Now, unfortunately, I want this to be inked because it's so light, and I think it will make a difference. Now, I'm not going to put a huge amount of ink on there, just going from the top down, kind of swooping away from the paper. And yeah. So this next weekend, my husband and I are going to do some antiquing. I mean antique shopping. We're going to go to towns we haven't been to shop. And I love doing that. And the only thing I really shop for is stuff for my journals. Things I can use in the journals, or I try to find the vintage stuff and so forth. But, you know, you never know. Okay, so I'm going to just line the glue on this portion right here. And I'm not going to over glue this, I promise. I'm going to get, you know, about a half an inch, quarter to half an inch from the edge, just like that, where it won't spill over. And then I'm just going to, okay, just do a real fast job. Now, I want it to line up. I don't want to be in the video. Let me look. I want it to line up right along this top portion. Okay. That's perfect, you guys. That surprises me, honestly. So I think maybe if we had enough, this isn't wide enough though, but let me get this other sheet. Maybe we could cover the inside of the flaps all in this grid. And we can leave the currently there because, you know, that'll work. Maybe I'll use it across these two. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but we're going to sure try. Okay, so this measures, where'd my ruler go? Oh, my days. I'm telling you, it was right here. It's buried under something, I'm sure. What happened? I think somebody come in and rip off my ruler. That's weird. It's in between a bunch of junk over here. I just found it. Ignore me. Okay, so on this side, I just want to make sure we need 8 3/4. And here we need 3 3/4. So I don't know how I'm going to work it around this right here. So this may be fun. So I'm going to get that cut. 8 3/4 by 3 3/4. See what we come up with. Okay, so 3 3/4. That's what I need first. Okay. Eight and 3/4 is the next portion, is the next thing we need. I didn't want this to take up the whole table, but got to get to 8 and 3/4. Now, not everything we cut is going to come out as perfect as what the last one did, but we'll try our best. Trying to set these things where I don't lose them next. This is the fast way to ink, in my opinion. I don't do a lot of rubbing on there anymore. I just feel like it's just, you know, waste of time and money. Because I don't think it looks as good unless you really are good at blending. Now, why did that come out a little short? That's all right. We can leave a border. That's not a big deal. I thought we'd have to on the other one. But you want your border to be like not a bunch of different papers, you know. Okay. Let me move this up. It's like working with something crazy. I'm trying to move it where we can get it into camera. Okay, now I am going to put it on this time because I want to move it around and get it in the right spot. Okay. Okay, here we go. Well, we know we're going to have a border. Oh, crud, you know what I did? It's crazy sometimes. I'm going to put this inside this envelope because I don't want it to get all glue all over it. That won't cover the whole thing, but it's close enough. So if there's any writing or anything on your envelope, you would have to cover this whole thing if you could see it. So what I got to do now is flip this back, take this paper out, and try to trim this. Now you might think, that's a lot of work, Paula. It really isn't. You know, I'm talking through it, and it would be faster, absolutely, if I didn't have to talk through it. Plus, I don't think I would make as many mistakes. Because honestly, when I made the prototype last night, I didn't really make that many mistakes. And listen, it was engineered by Paula. Yeah, you're going to get mistakes. I'm human. Okay, so now we've got that trimmed, which wasn't that hard. Because I thought, man, I should have covered that first. But I don't want to cover it first because you never know what you're going to come up with. Now, let me get my little punch so I can make sure we're punching in the same place. I'm just going to turn it around so I can see the inside. Okay, it's right there. Now, let's flip it over and see what it looks like. Ooh, I like it. They could put their currency in there. Okay, so there is those two covered. So let's get another sheet of that paper. I think it's just the right size to do what we need. I'm going to see if we have another one. Keep your fingers crossed. I'm looking in the wrong book. Crazy woman. Crazy woman. Okay. I'm trying to get those 3 covered in that. Oh, there's some cool coordinating papers. I really don't want to use any of the gold on this because I think that really needs to be something a little more. I don't remember where it was located in the book, so I'm still flipping through here. There it is. Come out of here. There she is. So I think I'll put the currently on the other side again, because why not? It looks good. And then we'll use just coordinating colors for the other parts. Okay, now I got to measure this one. And after this one, we're going to stop the video, and then I'll start another video up right after it. So we need 8 3/4. It's going to be the same size, it looks like. 8 3/4 by 3 3/4. So that's perfect. Now we'll cut it 3 3/4. For some reason, I think that's going to be too wide, but let me kind of compare it to this one. Now, why is that wider? Strange. I'm just going to cut. Let me try it on this one before I cut. This envelope must be slightly bigger because it's the exact size for this envelope. Now, see, if I had cut that, I would have been mad at myself. Okay, now 8 3/4. Got to bring out this stupid arm. All right, we're moving this trimmer for now. We're going to ink, glue. Okay, so. Oh, we got to ink this real fast. It wouldn't turn out very pretty. I plan on trying to do a journal in these colors, so I might save this to go in that journal. And it will just be an attachment, like inside a signature or something. I just thought, when I saw this paper, I just thought it was beautiful. And I thought, I'm going to use that to my advantage. Okay, so that's looking good right there. And I'm going to put the glue on this part this time so we don't have, you know, the problem we had last time where I had to cut the... Might not be so lucky this time, you know. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. I'm still going to have to cut it, but I won't have to cut it with glue on it. did not realize that I actually put that on crooked. Ah, how did that happen? It's not perfect, so I guess I should make this one match as best I can. Yeah, it's not going to match. You can't see what happened? See right there how it comes in? I must have been matching it up to this other line. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine. So I'm going to trim this one. And we will be ready for the next video. You are crooked. I'm sorry, guys. Just hitting my little camera today. So I'm going to let you go. You know what? You'll see this when I get trimmed out. And I'll see you in part 2. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Oh, and a thumbs up's great. Bye.